What's up everyone, Greg here from LensPro2Go and Lens Rentals, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Sony's Alpha lineup, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some insights and help you choose which one's right for you. Just want to say stay tuned all the way to the end because we're doing a discount code and a special giveaway. Now this isn't going to be a comparing all the specs type of video because all these cameras basically have the same codecs, same frame rate options, body style, and even the resolutions. So instead I'm going to talk about each of the camera's strengths and weaknesses and who and what they're actually for. So the five that we're going to look at is the A6500, the A7 III, the A7S II, the A7R3, and the A9. So starting off with the A6500, this is the cheapest camera in the lineup at $1,100. It's also the only APS-C or crop size sensor. Because of the smaller sensor size, the body of the camera is also able to get much smaller, which makes it really great for travel. And if you want to take advantage of that crop sensor, it's really great for shooting wildlife or just getting some extra range out of your lenses. This is a great intro camera into the Alpha lineup if you're just starting out, or using it as a second camera or B camera to match up with your A7 as a main camera. Its main focus is on the video end, but having a 24 megapixel sensor, you can also get some pretty fantastic photos. You just won't have the same shallow depth of field or look as a full frame sensor. Next in the lineup is their most recent release, the A7 III, coming in at $2,000. This camera has the new menu system, the new body style, and is basically 90% of their flagship A9, sharing the same sensor and autofocus system. The only things you're really missing is the super high frame rate shooting and the no blackout of the viewfinder. Also, the body does feel a little more plastic than the rest of the A7s and the A9, so you need to be a little more careful when you're tossing around. It's just not as durable. This is probably the best option in the whole lineup of cameras for doing photo and video, and you get into this full frame sensor at a very reasonable price. Next is the A7S II, which is the oldest camera on this list. Hopefully we'll be seeing an update to this one later this year or early next year. This one comes in right around $2,400, which is a little more expensive than the A7 III, but it's really meant for video, especially in low light. It has a lower resolution full frame sensor at only 12 megapixels, and what this gets you is larger photo sites so that they can absorb more light, and you get that lower noise level with those higher ISOs. The two downsides to having a lower megapixel sensor like this is, for one, you can't shoot 4K in Super 35 mode like you can with the rest of the cameras, and two, it's not as great for photos and you get a lower resolution image. That's why I say it's mainly for video shooters. This being an older model, it also uses the old menu system, which wasn't so great, and you also have the funky placement of the record button on the side, and you don't get a joystick for navigation. If you're looking into this camera, you might want to hold off a little bit before you purchase it to see what they end up doing with the A7S Mark III. After that comes the A7R3 at $3,200, and just like the S series is for video, the R series is their photo-based model. It has a super high resolution 42 megapixel full frame sensor, which is great for studio photography, portrait photography, landscapes, or if you're just trying to enlarge or print any of your photos, and if you're doing any graphic design work, because it has so much extra detail in it. This camera also has the more durable body construction like the A9, and a neat thing, because this is such a high megapixel sensor, you actually get a 5K video downscaled to 4K, so it should be sharper than the rest of the cameras in the lineup. The downside to that though is you lose some of that low light performance. And then lastly is their flagship camera, the A9, coming in at $4,000. This is their professional photography camera targeted at the Canon 1DX Mark II and the Nikon D5. You get a blazing fast 20 frames per second high-speed shooting, and you get no blackout in your viewfinder, so you can continue to track your subject without losing them in the frame. It also has a super impressive autofocus tracking system with 693 autofocus points, so you're never going to miss that moment. This camera is directly aimed at the sports and wildlife photographers because of the speed and performance when you're trying to capture that perfect shot. The one thing that stops this camera from being a great video option as well is the lack of picture profiles, so there's no S-Log or hybrid log gamma. So there you have it. That's a quick look at the Sony Alpha lineup. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of knowledge about what the differences are between them and help you choose between all of these different cameras. If you want to try any of these cameras out before you drop the big bucks, make sure to head on over to lensprotogo.com or lensrentals.com and use the promo code ALPHA15 to get 15% off any rental with an Alpha camera on it. Links to all of these cameras will be in the description below, so definitely go and check them out if you want to learn more. And if you enjoyed this video and are still watching, let me know in the comments below which camera you would choose and why. And in 2 weeks from when this video goes up, I will pick a winner to get a 4-day free rental of that camera. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for new videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one.